Welcome to Let's Talk Nourishment, where we go beyond food and into the habits that truly nourish. I'm Abigail Parker, nutritional therapy practitioner, here to help you simplify wellness. It's mid-June, which means that graduation parties are still a thing. And so we went to Zach's cousin's graduation party recently from high school. And something that stood out, by the way, is just how long Zach and I have been together. It hit me afterwards. So Zach and I are high school sweethearts. We've been together over 17 years. And so realizing that his cousin is now graduated from high school, the fact that I've been a part of his life for practically his entire life, it's just amazing how the years go by, and especially if you're not paying attention. So the fact that, he was a baby when I met him and now he's graduating high school, just wow. And I'm sure you have that that experience in your own life where you're just like, yep, I know, time flies, right? But we went to his graduation party, and of course, food is always at the center of these parties and events. And something that you need to know is I am gluten free, dairy free, and also not eating eggs right now. And this is something that is still relatively new to me, but also not. So years ago, I did about 45 days of gluten free and dairy free. When I went off birth control, I was trying to reduce the inflammation in my body, and gluten and dairy are two more inflammatory foods. So I did a brief period of time gluten free and dairy free. Since then, I have been having dairy, but I have been limiting the gluten that I had. And I say limiting loosely in that I don't cook with gluten or eat it regularly at home, but if I'm going out, I had been having it. And so in March, that all shifted. I figured out that I have a sluggish thyroid. And so gluten and dairy are two foods that can really impact your thyroid, especially if you're already having thyroid issues. So in March, I went completely gluten free. And then in April, I decided to then add in that dairy component as well. And around that same time, I also decided to stop eating eggs because I realized that I was getting a stomach ache from them. After I hadn't eaten them for a few days, all of a sudden I did. And it was like, okay, this is something that's bothering me. So I decided to stop eating eggs for right now, at least as well. So going to this party with these dietary restrictions that I have for myself, I had decided in advance that I was going to just eat at home after the party. I knew they were going to be having a taco bar as the food, and then, of course, desserts. And so it was just easier for me to eat at home so I didn't have to worry about coming into contact with gluten, dairy, eggs. And that was fine. But it was really funny at the party because, of course, we're sitting at a table talking, and one of Zach's other cousins and his kids were at the table with us, and his kids had been eating. And so he was finally like, well, I'm not going to sit and watch everyone else eat, so I'm going to go make my plate now. And he had no idea when he said that that's exactly what I was doing, was just sitting watching everybody else eat. I hadn't eaten myself. And so after he had gotten up, I ended up making some comment to Zach about, well, I can't eat anything here. And Zach just on the drop of a dime immediately was like, you can, you're choosing not to. And let that really sink in of you have a choice in what you eat. And so even for me, as I just mentioned, well, I am having these dietary restrictions right now. It really hits that, well, if I wanted to, I absolutely could have walked over and made myself a plate of nachos and really had the desserts that I wanted to eat. But the reality is, I chose not to. I didn't actually want to eat that food because of the fact that I knew that it's benefiting me more not to eat it than it would if I did eat it. And this is something that has not always been the case for me. I have dealt with this mindset of restriction in the past that was really difficult. if you're somebody who has ever dieted or tried to give up a food, you know that it's not that it's super easy for you just to decide that you're not going to eat it. At first, maybe, yeah, because you have that initial motivation and desire. And then as you keep going, it gets harder and harder. And so in the past, what really sparked nutrition for me and this need for me to want to eat better was my sweet tooth. Like, it kind of came to light how drawn to sugar I was. And I got to the point I didn't like that whenever it just all of a sudden was like, wow, eye opening. And so there was a time I would go to events like this and I would have to force myself not to eat the foods because I considered them to be bad for me and I couldn't eat them. And in particular, I can reflect on my sister-in-law's baby shower years prior. And they had, of course, this wonderful dessert table. And in my mind, it was good for me just to avoid the table, period. Don't even look at it. Don't see what desserts are on there. Don't go buy it. And then it's fine. I don't need to eat that. Versus now, I don't even have the desire to think about it. It's just there. It's existing like I'm existing, but I'm not sitting there thinking about it like I used to. And so what a way to go from this desire but not letting yourself to, well, I don't even want it. It's fine. And so I had a lot happen obviously in the time frame from how I used to eat to how I eat now. And so whenever I said the fact that I am gluten-free, dairy-free, not eating eggs, maybe you thought that, wow, that would be really hard. And to that, yeah, it would be really hard to go all in on I am completely not doing this. But as somebody who has dabbled in this kind of giving up foods before, it's been easier, but also looking at the benefit that I am getting from not eating the foods as opposed to how I would feel if I did eat the foods. That's really when it comes to healthy eating is looking at what am I getting from eating it or not eating it. Because if you decide to restrict yourself and give up any food and it's causing you a lot of stress, like it used to cause me a lot of stress to not let myself eat sweets, that's going to cause more harm than good. It's worthwhile then just to let yourself eat and enjoy the food. So, getting away from this idea of I can't eat it and choosing to eat the foods that are going to mentally and physically make you feel good. So it was really interesting for me to have this experience where Zach reminded me of, well, you can eat it. You're choosing not to. Because that same week, then just days later, I had a client meeting and I always love to check in prior to meetings so I can see what's going on for my clients and come prepared to help them with what they're needing right now. And so when I checked in with her, she just made a comment of, I'm struggling eating foods that I know I shouldn't. And now shouldn't is right there on can't with me. It's on that same level where it gives us a negative feeling. And so when she said shouldn't, I was like, okay, this could go a variety of different ways. It could go from this place of, well, this is a bad food for me. I shouldn't be eating it like I have experienced myself. Or on the other side, she is also gluten free because she has Hashimoto hypothyroidism. And so she's in the same place I am where she has chosen not to eat gluten because it's going to be benefiting her. She knows if she eats gluten, it makes her stomach not feel good. So she's decided not to eat it. And so when she said, I'm eating foods I know I shouldn't be, I was like, okay, I'm going to wait and see which direction that she's feeling this is coming from. And so when we had our meeting, it turned out that it's gluten. She said that when she's going to family members' houses for dinner, they're making food with gluten and she is just going ahead and eating them. And she said, The problem I'm having is I feel disrespectful if I don't eat it because they've made this food for me. And so I was like, okay, let's look at this from a different point of view. Let's change this and say, what if you were needing to have a room in your house painted and you had asked them, hey, do you want to come over and paint my room for me? And they were like, sure. And you liked, very neutral colors, nothing crazy, but you came home and they had went ahead and painted it and it was bright purple. And they meant well. They painted like you asked to paint. So they were trying to be nice, but at the end of the day, it's your space and it's not the color that you wanted. And so immediately in that moment, she was like, you just gave me an aha. And I was like, tell me more. And she said, so by eating the food, it's really disrespecting myself. It's not disrespecting them, it's disrespecting myself. And I love that change of thought for her because while they want to feed her and be nice, the food isn't something that is benefiting her. It's not something that she wants to eat. And so when you think about it that way, she didn't ask for the particular food to be made. She was just going over there and there happened to be this food. It's not disrespectful to say no. It's more disrespectful to her to eat something that she knows is going to make her feel crappy. And so we had the conversation of whenever you are trying to eat different, people don't understand when they're just eating the same food. And so always explaining this is what I'm eating, this is what I am choosing to not eat can really go a long way for people. When they don't understand, they can't make any changes, they can't do any better. And so you're kind of stuck in this situation where you feel bad or they feel bad. So having a conversation of, hey, in her case, I am gluten-free because it upsets my stomach when I eat it. So these are the foods that I am choosing not to eat. And then from there, it's up to you what it looks like that you do want to eat. You can ask in advance what food is going to be there and then either bring a meal for yourself so you can still eat with everybody if you know it's going to be something that you don't want to eat. Or you can bring a side, make it that potluck style where they're serving the main portion and you're going to bring some sides that you want to eat and that others can enjoy with you. Or you can do like what I did whenever I went to the graduation party and just eat in advance or after. You get to make that decision on what is going to work for you. And this goes with any type of eating restriction that you have, whether it is from a place of, I know that this food is going to make me feel poorly, and so I don't want to eat it. Or if it is simply just, this is a food that I know is not going to support my body in the way that I want to support it. I want to make better choices, so I don't want to eat this. And so you get to decide from a place of restriction versus respecting yourself. And that really makes all of the difference whenever you are trying to eat better. Whenever you're looking at it from a place of restriction only, then it gets really hard. You feel left out whenever you can't eat foods that everybody else is eating and foods that you like. Versus if you look at it from a place of respecting yourself, where you are choosing to make options that you know are benefiting you, then it makes it a whole lot easier. And it doesn't have to be that you make these all in changes either. Keeping in mind that whenever you're making changes like this, if you take it slow and easy, it makes it a lot more manageable. And again, it's a lot more respectful for yourself to take it easy and make it so that you're not trying to change your life all at once. So, this power of feeling confident in your eating choices really comes from choice and not feeling like you can't or you shouldn't eat something. Consider the benefits of eating it versus not eating it, and then decide, is it something that you want to eat? And that is so powerful. So, as you are continuing on with your day, with your week, with your month, and you're in this season, especially of events are happening, remember that you get to decide what you want to eat or what you don't want to. And it's okay either way. There is no right or wrong choice, no pressure, only what you want.